Going live. Here we are. Hey, welcome everybody to the Hert Locker. I'm your host, Logan Hertner here. Catch the show live on X, or if you want better quality, you can check that out on YouTube. Follow it on YouTube for Ghost and Friends at 40 Acre Vibes. You can catch that live on YouTube. Let me put this on the bottom here for y'all to see. There we go. Yeah, so follow and subscribe on YouTube. Check us out there. You can watch us on X or right here on YouTube. Good one today. So G5, some good G5 talk today, which I've dove into it a little bit, but not full on. Today's going to be a full G5 type show, and that's all we're repping today. You guys are probably wondering who this mysterious guy is over here. So we got a good one. Special guest joining us today, G5 Knowledge, some predictions and conference winners today. Former D3 quarterback at Pacific Lutheran University. Shout out the Lopes. Or Lutz, right? Lutz, not Lopes. Come on,
Lutz, yeah,
Lutz. Yeah,
go
but you
Lutz.
guys do like the Lopes, right? Is this not the signal for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
No.
kind of like I got the Lopes mixed up with it. Whatever. D3 quarterback, Aggie
GCU, PLU,
diehard.
same thing.
Yeah, same thing, right? Same thing. Quarterback, Aggie diehard, and Tuesday Maction fanatic, Liam Neighbors. Thank you for joining the show today, Liam. Check him out, follow him, and
So
subscribe there with the X account. Liam, thanks for joining today, man. This is one of my best friends here, guys. This guy is if you think I'm a college football dude, this is a dude right here who knows college ball. X's and O's, he knows all about it. Like I said, he's a Tuesday Maction freak. He's one of those sickos, as we like to call the sickos that really enjoy Tuesday night Maction games over most Saturday night games for some odd reason. So that's this guy right here talking to him. Anyway, so we're gonna dive pretty quick in here, go straight to Maction since that's what you're digging the most, and then we'll go through all the conferences, give our 2 cents. I'll start it out for you. Maction prediction winning the conference here. It's a tough one. I think most of these conferences, for the most part, are wide open. They got 3 or 4 teams that are going to be pretty solid in each conference. I think there's a couple that obviously do stand out more than others. The couple that stand out to me in this MAC conference are actually both going to be from the same state. And actually, I wonder how many are from this certain state that are in this conference. I need to look that up actually. Um, I'm going to go with Toledo. So Toledo is the clear-cut favorite to win this conference. So I'm going to go with the chalk here. They got a fifth year starter with Tucker Gleason coming back at the helm. He had over 2,700 yards last year, 24 touchdowns, 8 picks. He had multiple games where he had, 2-pick type games. His biggest thing, fifth-year starter, let's take care of the football. I think they have the pieces around him. They got a great coaching staff. They've been on the up and up. This is going to be the year for them coming in. I got to go with the Toledo Rockets, man. I'm pretty comfortable taking that pick. I think it's kind of a safe one. But I do know, like I said, there's a couple other teams that are in there. And with these type of conferences, you don't have the giant name stars. You might get a couple guys in there, some transfers that maybe didn't pan out at other places. But for the most part, I mean, you're getting kind of just those 2-star guys, those walk-on type guys that didn't get a chance at the big stage. They're coming to the MAC looking to make a name for themselves. They do open off against Kentucky. The line was at 12.5 just last week and is now moved all the way down to 7.5. So Kentucky is a minus 7.5 against Toledo. The line is just continuing to move. That's a little scary for Kentucky people out there repping the blue and the checkers, man. That's a little scary. Considering a team like Toledo, you just kind of maybe bat your eye at it. You don't really think anything of it. They might be nervous week one. They might have a little scare and a little puddle under them after week one. So we're gonna find out. But anyway, I'm taking Toledo. Liam, what you got for this MAC pick?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me here. It's an honor to be on the
Absolutely.
show. Looking forward to talking G5 with you guys. Like, there's nothing better than watching November on a Tuesday night watching football. So, love that. First of all, with your Toledo pick, I like it. It's chalk. I like Toledo to beat Kentucky week one. That line's moved way too much, and it's never a good idea, no matter who you are, to play a lower conference champion favorite week one. Like, just a bad spot to be in overall. So I like Toledo in that upset. However, I like Ohio. They're the second favorite at plus 320 to win the MAC. They start off with at Rutgers in West Virginia, so some tougher conference game or non-conference games to start out. But Parker Navarro coming back, already won the MAC one time. I think they're going to do it back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, because they just won it last year. Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so again, back to back champs. Obviously, they got something to play for. They got some returning key guys there. Toledo had a chance and opportunity last year and couldn't capitalize on it. They lost some games like to Akron, lost to Buffalo, where Tucker Gleason himself didn't play real well. And those were the multi pick games that he had, not taking care of the ball. So, for me, if he can shore those things up and really take care of the football, to me, I think it's Toledo's to run with. They're a plus 230 to win it. That is the bet right now. That's the line in Vegas, plus 230 to win the conference there. They do play Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky is another team that I know you love to talk about. One of your all-time favorites from the MAC.
Conference
That's a
USA.
team there. Conference USA, sorry. But they're playing, so Toledo playing a really tough opponent from the Conference USA. We'll talk about that conference here shortly. Western Kentucky is always known to be kind of that front runner, always have a really good quarterback, really, really fun offense, high scoring. So there's a tough test for them pretty early. And then obviously with an SEC school in Kentucky, we'll see how battle tested they are pretty early, which is good. I think the rest of their schedule going out, it looks easy, but again, they lost to teams like Akron and Buffalo and some schools like that last year that they probably didn't have any business losing to. They did beat Pitt in double overtime to end the season last year in a high-scoring game, 48-46, which is crazy, right? So there's a big name ACC team that's pretty competitive, middle of the road every year. So a really good win for Toledo to end on last year. We're going to see if they can keep that thing rolling. Next, we're going to rock with, I believe we're going to go with Conference USA. So we're just talking about Western Kentucky. What do you think on that? What is kind of the team that you think is the chalk for Conference USA that you would have to ride with?
Yeah, actually, let me run back to the MAC just real quick. Got a couple teams to note that I don't think are favorites, but just teams to keep an eye on too. Central Michigan has a new coach, Matt Drinkall. He was a coach, I want to say about 9 years ago at Kentucky Wesleyan, D2 school, put up crazy numbers. He's been at Army as an assistant offensive coach for the last, again, 8-ish years or so. I'm really interested to see what he does out in Central Michigan. And then Bowling Green, they've had 2 Missouri transfer quarterbacks now. First Connor Bazelak, and now Drew Pine at starting quarterback for Bowling Green. So just some interesting notes there.
Perfect.
Conference USA, there's one clear favorite. It's Liberty, right? They're the odds-on favorite by a lot. Western Kentucky at plus 300. I love the Hilltoppers. I'm going to take Liberty, though.
Yeah, no, I think Liberty is definitely the clear cut here. I think that's pretty hard to shy away from, especially the fact that you have Caden Salter from Colorado, a guy coming in that can, really Colorado. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Caden Salter transferred to Colorado.
Yeah, he transferred from Liberty to Colorado. So they're losing a guy like that who's a highly recruited guy, a well-named guy. We saw him in a bowl game play against Oregon a couple years ago. Liberty might be the type of team that goes undefeated in this conference and makes a run for it, but doesn't make the playoff. And I think partly is because when they played Oregon a couple years ago, everyone kind of knew what was going to happen. I think was like, this team's undefeated, but are they really that good? And we saw on full display, there is a difference in level. There's a pretty big drop off in level. So it'll be interesting for Caden Salter to go over to Colorado and play in a Big 12 and see what he looks like against some better competition in a conference over there in the Big 12 that's going to be wide open this year. There's a lot of good teams in that conference. So that'll be interesting to see how he translates over from Conference USA to that. But I think this is it, man. And I think
he might not even start. There's a 5-star. Colorado's got a 5-star, and they're still in a QB battle. They haven't announced a start, so he might not even play.
Right. So, I mean, it's pretty crazy. You go thinking you might have a chance, and then you got some 5-star guy coming into Colorado, which obviously doesn't happen very often. So he might fall short on that part of the stick, but we're going to find out here in a couple weeks. We do have Ethan Vasco, projected starter from Coastal. He's going to be the guy for Liberty leading the way this year. So again, a lot of G5 guys that transfer into each other, or you're seeing those big schools with some guys that are coming down. Again, I like Liberty. I think it's just going to be unfortunate if they go undefeated and don't get into the college football playoff this year. They need to make a separate one, man. And I think it's been talked about quite often, having a G5 actual separate college football playoff. I mean, how fun would that be, right? You take all these conferences, you run them together. I don't know if you include the Pac-12 in that after it's all said and done with the new teams they're adding, which would be kind of interesting just because that level of play is obviously kind of on the same level as these G5 schools. But I mean, I think that would be one of the greatest things in sports to put a G5 conference college football playoff together and run those teams, because that's a way for these smaller schools with their talent and those kids who don't get their name projected on the billboards and don't get all the credit in the world. That's a great way to get their name out there and get some recognition. That was something I wanted to bring up to you, as well. Like, what do you think? Going to 12 team, would that be recommended, or I mean, what do you think there?
Oh, I would love that. I've been vying for this for a while now. Pac-12 is interesting, right? Because the best teams in the Pac-12, the Boises of the world, right? The Oregon State when they're up, Wazoo when they're up, they're going to compete with the mid-tiered SEC and Big Ten schools, right? At their best, right? We saw last year Boise State, one of the best teams they've had, get handled pretty well against Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl. So I don't know if they would join the G5 or Power Four from that playoff standpoint, but that'd be awesome. My grand theory would be you with the same location. Back championship games, make it a full event. Ideal, but like national championship game at the Rose Bowl, right? James Madison versus Clemson, Bama, or whoever it may be. That'd be great.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I think we see like not necessarily a 12-team college football playoff with the FCS, but I mean, I love their structure of how they do it as well. It's just one loss, you're done. We're not messing around with anything else. We bracket it, we seed it out. Here we go. And you see a lot of the same teams in there: South Dakota State, North Dakota State. James Madison used to be in that realm. Sam Houston
used to be.
Yep. App
Same with App
State,
State.
right? So there's a bunch of
Sam
teams
Houston,
that have now jumped and gotten up in level here. I don't know. I think that would be a really interesting way of just being able to get the G5 more well known for people. It gets people more interested in Tuesday action, in the middle of the season when no one's watching, but you got sickos like us that are like, man, it's Tuesday. Yeah. Who do we got on tonight? Like, I can't wait to watch action, have some popcorn, make a drink and watch it. I mean, there's nothing better in the middle of October and watching some action.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, like the Bahamas Bowl is the biggest thing they play for, which is sweet. I would have no problem having the G5 national championship in the Bahamas, but playing for something a little bit more. I think a 8-team or 12-team playoff in the G5, right? You can have the same committee select them, unless they don't watch, then do some other method. But an 8 or 12-team playoff, and then same format as
maybe we can get on the board. We can get on the board and be a G5 board, and we can make the picks.
just us. I love it. The two of us, and you know what? Run all the way down through the MAC. That's fine.
That would be good. That'd be good. We'll jump over to the American Conference, as we both think that Liberty's going to win that. Conference USA American Conference. Kind of going with a weird one. I think this is definitely a big time sleeper. A team I think you mentioned earlier, like 2007. This team was ranked number 2 in the country at one point. Has never been done again, I don't think, by a G5 team since. So it'd be pretty incredible if we ever saw something like that again. But this team had a quarterback last year who actually got hurt. The year prior in 2023, he broke the single season passing record for this school. So the unfortunate injury last year obviously put a damper on things for them. This big bounce back year coming in at a plus 600 to win the conference. Not saying you should place this bet, but I'm just saying if I had to do a little dabble, little drizzle on this one at a plus 600, I might put a couple bucks on it. I'm taking South Florida, taking the Bulls down there in South Florida. So the quarterback, Byron Brown, like I said, he broke the single season school record for passing yards, 26 touchdowns, and I think only 4 picks. So this is a guy who obviously took care of the football a little bit. And we're looking to see if he can bounce back from an injury that was pretty gruesome. So, obviously I want the best for him. Get out on there, see what we can do, see if we can throw for over 3,200 yards again. I think he threw last in 2023 for 3,292. I think that was the total number. Again, man, I think this is a great year, a great bounce back year for him, and underdog story for sure. But you can never count out an underdog, and I like an underdog story. So that's what I'm going with for the American Conference.
I like it. That's a great pick. I'll be honest, I didn't do enough research on South Florida, just seeing where they were at, right? Plus 600, middle of the road in the American. But it's a strong upper half of the conference for sure, right? You got Army. They're always going to be competitive with Jeff Monken as head coach, right? Had other offers to go to Vanderbilt and other schools. Decided to stay for now. I think he's a name to consider in the SEC, by the way. Looking forward as other coaches, get fired and move along. UTSA, I like UTSA a lot. They got a returning quarterback, right? Third favorite to win the conference. But I'm going to go with chalk. I got to go with Tulane, right? Jake Retzloff transfers from BYU after that, unfortunate incident. Comes down to Tulane, so didn't have a spring camp, coming in late to the fall. It looks like, I don't think they've announced he's won the job yet, but he has the inside track. It's good. He should win it by week 1, or if not week 2. But I like Tulane. John Summerall, once again, another name that, as a head coach, probably find himself in the Big Ten or SEC sooner than later. So yeah, I like the wave
we
here.
were talking about that on the prediction show with Ghost and them the other night. Is Tulane is, I think, the most popular pick in the nation to maybe come out of a G5 and have a chance at a college football playoff. We talked about not having to go undefeated, and you can still maybe sneak in there. I mean, I still think it's going to be pretty hard, right? If a team like Liberty goes undefeated, they're most likely not going to get a shot like that. Tulane obviously a little more.
Too weak of a schedule for Liberty.
Too weak of a schedule. Tulane's schedule, on the other hand, is really, really tough. Non-conference and in conference. I think there's a lot of teams capable in that conference of making some noise. Speaking of, I talked about South Florida. Week 1, they play Boise State. Boise State is in the top 25. We saw they made a college football playoff last year. So again, Boise State is a -6.5, and they're on the road. They're at South Florida with no Ashton Genty, man.
That's a great
and with
game.
no Genty,
game.
and I said it again, and we can touch on a little bit Mountain West. We've already done so, but Mountain West for me, UNLV's the team. That's the top dog. No Genty at Boise State. That's too big of shoes to fill. I'm telling you, I like UNLV in that conference, and if you can give me a week 1 loss to Boise State and give me a South Florida win for my pick there, that's what I'm talking about. And then the very next week.
That's in South Florida, right?
And then the very next week, they got to do a little bit of traveling, not very far, and go to Gainesville and go play the big boys with the Florida Gators. So they're going to be battle tested early too, which is also what I like. They're going to see where they're going to be at. The quarterback's obviously going to feel it out and see what he's, how he's doing health wise. And then it's just crazy. I don't know why they're doing this to themselves early on. Like I said, maybe just to get the feet wet. Very next week after Florida Gators, they got to go to Miami and go play the Hurricanes. So,
oh my Lord,
I don't know what they were thinking with this whole schedule. Like, hey,
if you can go 1-2 in that stretch and be competitive, you're in great shape.
You're in great shape to win your conference, which is not going to have Miami and Florida in it.
Oh yeah.
So, if you can somehow make some noise, keep those games close, even sneak by one of those 3 games, it would be incredible. Yeah, it would be incredible for them. Obviously, Boise's going to be the one that they're aiming to win of the 3. But you never know. You just never know. And especially it's in state, right? I don't know if there's much turmoil between those teams or any sort of rivalry. I'm sure South Florida fans might be a little bitter if they're real diehard South Florida fans over Miami and Florida. They might not like them very much, but it's not a long road trip for them, which is great. It's not a different atmosphere besides a bigger stadium. Miami's fans don't show up to their games anyway. So that's going to be pretty much just a game down the road with some of South Florida home fans traveling. Gainesville is going to be a different story. That's going to be a rocking place that, they probably don't want to play in very often. That's going to be hopefully a one-time thing for them. So anyway, I like South Florida, tough schedule. The rest of the season though kind of pans out well for them, and that's why I think conference-wise they should look pretty well off, and that's because they play like SC State, so South Carolina State. They play the next week after those, so they kind of get a little more cushion of a cupcake type of game, so they can bounce back from those. Hopefully, get healthy,
and still not in conference.
And then they finally start conference, and they play Charlotte. Charlotte's a team I think they should realistically beat up on. And then they go to North Texas. North Texas, usually a decent program. Obviously, I don't know too much in depth about them. That's another team that I kind of looked at before, and there wasn't a whole lot of telltale signs of like, hey, this is going to be a dominant team this year. But I just love their logo and their unis, and I'm not even a green guy, but come on, dude. I mean, come on. Their unis are awesome. So anyway, it kind of pans out for them. So North Texas, they got to play Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic's always a high-powered offense as well. They're always usually pretty fun to watch. Still a game I think that they should win. At Memphis, another team. What I love about this conference, dude, it seems like everybody's teams can just score 40 plus points a week. Like there's usually not a whole lot of defense, so it's just a lot of action going on. Love that about it. So yeah, I mean, you got to go to Memphis. That's going to be a super tough game. You come back, you play UTSA, like you mentioned, another really solid football team in this conference, but you get to host them. You play at Navy. Always a tough game because of the offense they run. It's super hard to defend.
Back-to-back UTSA Navy.
That's
tough.
That's going to be a brutal.
two of the
That's going
best
to be
teams
a
in the
brutal
conference.
games.
Like that's going to decide the race.
And then they play UAB, who was the worst team in the conference last year, and then they play Rice. So to me, really looks like they should have a decent season, get those games out of the way early, sneak one of those out, keep them close, and let's see what we're riding with after that. Yeah. So and then to probably our favorite conference besides the MAC, this is going to be, I think, one of the most exciting conferences to watch besides the Big 12 this year. I think the Big 12 is going to be phenomenal. Most conferences, honestly, this year, I think it's pretty wide open. There's not any clear-cut favorites, I don't think, in pretty much any conference. I think it's going to be black and blue in most of them. This one, the Sun Belt Conference, is going to be the same way. There is, if you could flip 50 coins and it's just this is one team, this is the other, that's exactly what this year is going to look like. Again, everybody, this is just a prediction of who we think. There is no clear-cut favorite here. Zero. You talk about App State. App State's been a team that has been truly a phenomenal program up and coming over the years. James Madison has also made some pretty big noise coming up from the FCS into the FBS and that conference. There's just so many teams in this one. It's kind of scary. Do you want to do yours first, or you want me to spill the beans on mine?
Well, we were talking before the show, and I don't have a favorite yet. So I was going to pick somebody that you didn't pick, because there's about 5 teams here that all have the same. There's James Madison, and then pretty close with everybody else. And it's a loaded year too. And App State is like the ninth best odds to win the conference.
Right.
It's absolutely loaded. It is America's G5 conference.
I think I'm going to do this just out of a little bit of bias. So I came down and visited you several months ago in Texas. You drove me right past this place in Texas.
Oh, are you going to take
San
Texas
Marcos,
State?
man? I'm going to take the new team to the future Pac-12 conference. I'm going to take the Texas State Bobcats. GJ Kinney, come on, man. I'm loving this. And what you guys got going. Welcome to the future Pac-12. Looking forward to having some duels with you guys. But let's finish this thing off with a bang, man. If we're going to leave the conference, let's win the conference and then leave, right? That's kind of my thought process on it. I think they have an exceptional coaching staff. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this team can do. I've heard all good things about Texas State. When you took me by the campus and everything, and I was like, man, this is kind of a cool place. San Marcos is super nice. So a little biased. I want to take Texas State. I think that's who I got to rock with. So
take them if you didn't. Oh man. Marcus feels like a Pac-12 town. Them fan base right there. Long time, and still, I don't know if people know about them, but people are coming now, maybe ever. I love what they're doing. They don't have a quarterback figured out yet, though. So there's a 3-way race. McCoy still there. So we'll see what happens with Texas State. Okay, I think I'm going to take Louisiana. They've got the second best odds. Wow. The only reason transfer quarterback Walker Howard is there, and I got a thing for Ole Miss quarterbacks, and I think that'll continue even in the Sun Belt. So I have no clue if he's going to be good there or not, but the Sun Belt, who knows? It's just going to be fun. So I'll be rooting for Louisiana this year. Yeah.
GJ Kinney down there, third-year head coach for Texas State. I think now that you're having a projection of going into a bigger conference with the new Pac-12. This is a guy he's been around and now is in his third year. He's already made a little noise. They've been competitive. this is kind of the year where it's like, all right, it's boom or bust. Let's make, like I said, let's come out of this thing with a bang before we go to a new conference. He's the type of coach that could potentially be going somewhere else anyway. Big Ten, SEC. He's definitely a guy that's going to make some noise for himself and get on a coaching staff at a bigger university. So just watch out for that in the years up and coming. High-powered offense, and then they had to replace a quarterback, which they're replacing it with a B from last year, Giovanni McCoy. And I think he's still in a QB battle, but Giovanni McCoy brings a lot of things.
Possibly.
Yeah. He brings a lot of things to the table as far as just being a mobile quarterback. He's got a lot of speed. The arm is what needs a little work, right? You see little flashes of very accurate on slant routes, outs, quick immediate outs, quick 3-step drop, get rid of it type things. His usual problem is pushing the ball down the field. He has a hard time with even one-on-one coverage and just getting the ball out there to somebody. So I think depending on who's getting the starting role there, I think he has plenty of athleticism. That's not the issue. And plus, I'm rooting for him because he was a Beav last year, and he had a couple great plays for the Beavs last year before Ben Gulbranson took over. So, I'm taking Texas State, man. I got to go with them and ride with the old Beav too. So, and I think they got some other guys. They got they got a QB from Pitt, and then they also got the guy from Auburn. So, I mean, he's got some competition for himself there to win a starting spot.
Yep.
And then
it's going to be fun. Sunbelt's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Sunbelt, man. You just can't. Yeah, God. I can't even explain how excited I am to watch these smaller conferences just because they're so wide open. I mean, I think there's a lot of talent with guys transferring in. The transfer portal has made a world of difference with bringing guys in that usually you're not going to see. But these smaller schools that have any sort of money laying around to throw at certain guys, they can pick some guys up, and it's been great. So now that we hit that, I think that's all we got for those conferences. But we're not quite finished with them. I would like to hit some locks of the week. When I say locks, guys, I'm hoping they're locks. They might not actually be locks, especially G5, which we've mentioned a million times now, that this stuff is so unpredictable. There's some weeks these guys show up, and there's some weeks that you're like, this is not the same team I just watched last week because now they're in the snow and now no one can throw the football. And then now my team, who's been so good all year, is going to lose for the first time. And that will happen. Mark my words. I don't know what two teams, but that's going to happen this year. So watch that one. Let's go to that and show me the money, Jerry. Three locks of the week for G5. So the first game's coming up. We got some pretty good ones. Take us away with the first one, Liam. Which one do you want to go first?
OU Stanford, Hawaii.
Okay.
You want me to take it first, or you want it?
Take it, man.
I like Hawaii at home -2.5 week 0. Right, one of the few Power 5, or I guess G5 Power 5 games, but one of the bigger ones of the week. In this for good reason, other than Ben Gulbranson at quarterback, and I don't think they'll be able to put down the field. I want to. Although Stanford moving, they got Andrew back there as their GM, manager. Stuff. Run a couple years ACC.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think you already hit on it. Ben Gulbranson. If he shows up as Jen Bulbranson, the guy that shredded Florida in a bowl game for Oregon State a couple years ago, which no one was expecting. He all of a sudden learned how to throw the ball in cover 2 and how to throw in a pocket. It was amazing, and then you never saw it again. So if Ben Gulbranson shows up, Stanford's going to have a really, really hard time this year winning football games. I know they're traditionally kind of a run-heavy team anyway with some play action, which might benefit him actually, considering that's what he did in the Civil War when Oregon State beat Oregon. I mean, he handed the ball off 19 times in a row or whatever it was, some stupid number. And he threw 2 picks and fumbled the ball and gave three turnovers right to him in our own territory, and we still somehow won that game. So, yeah, I mean, I got to go with Hawaii -2.5 here. the total over under is 50.5, which I think is a lot considering Hawaii usually doesn't have like a great offense. I think Stanford can still maybe hold them down defensively a little bit. They're not playing somebody that's just crazy good. They're playing Hawaii. So the total for the over under on the 50.5, I like the under. I think it's going to be pretty low scoring. Yeah, I do like the under. So we're going to go under, and we're going to go Hawaii minus 2.5 for the first lock. And then secondly, because we have actually 3 locks in this week 0 coming up this weekend, Idaho State and UNLV. UNLV, who I've had as my clear-cut favorite to win the Mountain West, should be a pretty easily handled game for them. 26.5 is the spread. 26.5, obviously a huge number. When you get in double digits in anything in any sport, a little scary, a little skeptical on that. But I think Idaho State shouldn't be anything special. Oregon State played them last year and blew them out of the water pretty good by 30. UNLV should have some good firepower this year, some dynamic offense, something different. Dan Mullen, there's no way he is not smacking around Idaho State week 1. So give me UNLV to cover the big spread of minus 26.5. That's gonna be my luck for that one. What do you think? You think over under 65.5? What do you got?
Doesn't have a quarterback for going for. I like 20, but they'll find when you get a brand new head. I like. I mean, they'll be. I like the boy doing. You think he's getting foresee week 1?
Perfect. Third game we got here, we got Sam Houston, Western Kentucky, actually week 0 at Western Kentucky. I think the line right now is at 10.5. I know you're a big Western Kentucky taking the points type of guy. Minus 10.5 for Western Kentucky at home against Sam Houston. Total is over under is 60.5. I think you were saying earlier you absolutely have to bet the over in this game because it is Western Kentucky. And I think Sam Houston's offense is actually going to be decent as well. And they got something to prove coming up from the FCS. So they're going to want to start the year off pretty well. Yeah, give me the over on the 60.5, man. Let's run that thing up. Let's see how many points they can score and break the scoreboard, blow that thing up. The 10.5 though, I think is interesting because I actually think this game might be closer than people think. I think Sam Houston gives them a little run for the money. If it was minus 9.5, I might consider the Western Kentucky pick. But that little half on the 10 there, I'm kind of liking Sam Houston maybe to cover the 10.5.
Okay, I like it. I like Western Kentucky minus 10.5. It's just points are at a premium. I love the Hilltoppers. I'm gonna ride with them. And then over 6, I had 61.5. You got 60.5. I'll buy that extra point if I need to. But I'm always taking the over when it comes to Western Kentucky.
Hilltoppers, baby. Let's go quick here. We'll go quick to I'm gonna do this with everybody that I have on the show. When I go good, bad, and the ugly. Give me some uniforms, man. If you had to pick like your favorite uniform combination or what team you think just has like the best top-notch uniforms, good uniforms, who are you taking for good?
Right before we went live, I saw Ole Miss drop some new helmets, and they might be the uniforms of the year. So I don't know if you've seen them yet. When you get it, I'm going to go with them. They are phenomenal.
I haven't seen the new ones yet, but I traditionally do like their unis. I think when they got some cool combinations with the baby blue and the navy, and the red is so different. The baby blue and red it's a weird combo, but it works.
Yep.
And I do like when they go to all the icy whites like they did against Georgia last year in that rainy game where they beat Georgia. Yeah, and especially when you got like Jackson Dart, the hair and the visor, he's got the eye black, the swaggy on. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, no, I dig the Ole Miss unis. If you had to go some bad unis, Can you think of an example of some bad ones? Whether,
Hmm.
when I talk bad, I don't even mean like, I don't mean ugly, just bad. Like they're just blah. Like
Yeah,
who's the first team you think of?
yeah, it's unfortunate because I love tradition. That's what makes college football special. But Penn State, they're just buying a helmet from like the store and just slapping nothing on it and just wearing it to the game. I'm sorry,
Good
I
old, good
respect
old,
tradition.
good old white, good old
I
white
love
shut.
them. Yep, they're going to be great this year. I think they win the national championship. Like I think
Hey,
you were talking about that the other day, but the uniforms are too boring for me.
it's and it's kind of the same. Like it's kind of the same thing with Alabama.
Hmm.
It's a traditional look, but
At
it's
least they
just
put
like
numbers on it, though.
they
I mean,
do. They do at least put numbers. I'll give them that. And it reminds me of Remember the Titans, because that's the same
yeah,
uniforms
yeah,
Remember Titans have, like the same
yeah.
same exact unis, same colors, everything. Which is one of, I mean, obviously football people, that's got to be one of your favorite all-time movies. So and it's the Tide, right? We're Roll Titans, Roll Tide. I mean, it's pretty close together. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I didn't give my good. I think last time I gotta go with a different one, man. Good
Would you
unis.
say last time?
Last time I went with Arizona State with the traditional Sparky logo, traditional maroon,
Ooh.
yellow pants.
Oh yes, yes.
Um, I love Oklahoma State's. I think it's so close to Oregon State, but I wish Oregon State would do what their uni combos are. I think they're phenomenal. Um,
Or had a lot of
they
them
have
at
a
least.
ton. Yeah, I think one that I actually really really like, um, that people sleep on a little bit, I think, is Minnesota. Uh, I
Ooh, with
love
the M or with the
Minnesota's
gopher?
unis.
Which one? Which one?
So I like either. I mean, I love the Gopher. Anytime give me a throwback logo on pretty much anything, and I'm loving that.
Yeah.
I love another team. I love Louisville's unis. I love their logo, but when
Mhm.
they do the whole wings thing with the fake wings, it
Yeah,
loses
yeah,
my
yeah.
interest there. So,
Who else does that remind?
yeah, that's kind of why it makes me lose. At least it's not the colors though. At least they're red and black. Um, yeah, man, I don't know. Good, good. Yeah, I gotta go with Minnesota. I've always liked Minnesota, and
I like it.
I like the chrome gold they rock with. I like when they go the all whites. I even like the yellows. They're kind of crazy, but I like them. Traditional maroon's good. Yeah, I gotta go with Minnesota on the good. The bad though, I definitely agree with the Penn State type thing. Um, you know, I will say, actually, I will say some bad ones, especially in the past, is I think Vandy could have much better uniforms. It's not that they're bad. I think they could be so much better. Um,
Hmm.
I love what Purdue does with theirs with the Boilermaker, and they have a couple
Yeah,
different combinations. They can go chrome or they go all black. I think Vandy could do something so similar. They have like the same unis. Like Wake Forest does a really good job with their unis.
yeah.
Um, and all those three teams have the same color combos kind of. Um, yeah, Vandy just doesn't do nothing for me, right? It's just like a V. It's just, and they went
Well,
away
and they
from the
got rid of their
star.
old logo. Yes, yes, exactly.
So yeah, if I had to go,
Bring it
yeah,
back.
if I had
Bring
to
it
go
back.
bad, man. But on the other hand, Vandy's baseball uniforms, top notch. Almost unbeaten in,
The
in
gold
baseball.
pinstripes, all black. Yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take those. But yeah, the football ones are just kind of meh, and it's probably because I never watch them on TV because they've never been good in football either. So,
Except when they beat
except
Bama,
when they beat
right?
Bama.
Watch
Yeah, he
out.
is back again. He's
Watch
back again.
out.
If you had to go with some ugly uniforms, who you going for ugly?
So
Just
this is a
hideous, like you
super,
have a hard
super
time looking at.
pander pick. Yeah, you're gonna love this. So I'm gonna Oregon, right? You and I can't. I'm gonna go step further and teams highlight low. Change. I can't stand it. It hurts. So any this is your more ugly. Stop trying so hard. Now Baylor is coming back with the mid like Bryce Petty era once again. That all the tops.
I would agree with every statement that you just made about that. Highlighter yellow is a no-go. Ugly, 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 ugly. Man, this is
Yeah, it was
there.
Georgia
There
Southern was
are
your
some
last
ugly
ugly one,
ones
right?
out there.
Or Georgia State? Georgia
So,
State.
so Georgia Southern last time I went was bad because they kind of do the Penn State thing. It's
Yeah.
they have
They
Alabama
put numbers. They
uniforms.
put numbers.
Yeah, they have Alabama uniforms, but it's navy blue and white. So I don't know, man. The ugly. I said North Dakota State last time for the ugly because they've had the same uniforms. They've
So
never changed them.
they don't do all yellow.
No, but it's a
That's
lot,
fine.
and they've never changed them since like
Right here,
1948.
it's sick.
They need to do something else.
And it's tradition. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of just some. Oh, I got it. I got it right here. Easy. This. I don't know
Yep.
why I didn't think
Hit
of
me.
this earlier. When Florida went with the Gator scale uniforms. Huh. Yeah, hey, listen. I love
Counterpoint.
I love
Bring him
me an
back. Do you know
alligator.
who they played?
I love me an alligator. Don't get me wrong. I think they're so cool. But those uniforms are some of the worst uniforms I've ever seen designed on anything. Like, wow.
Logan, you know who they played that week?
I don't remember, honestly.
Texas A&M in the swamp, and they lost. Bring
Oh.
them back. Good luck for the Ags. Bring them back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, good luck for y'all. Oh.
No, I agree. Those are
Oh
terrible though.
man.
Terrible.
I mean, I'm surprised you didn't say Texas.
No, one, Ghost is a good friend. I'm not going to do that on day one, right? Two, I respect them because they've got the traditional uniforms, right? Change, but at least they put something on their head, right? It's a classic logo, right? Everyone knows it. Some people hate them. A lot of them hate them, right? That's just my take.
I I should tell the story. When we go to Omaha and Texas is at Omaha, and Liam's having a great time. Even though Texas is playing
Yeah.
and they're playing Mississippi State, both pitchers combined for almost 30 strikeouts. People, I don't know if you're baseball people, but holy schmoly, it was 1-0 was
It's
the final
awesome.
score. Whether you call that boring or not, I don't care. The game was crazy. But I just remember we're walking around all the vendors and we're checking everything out. And they have like these wooden frames and wooden signs, and it's with the horns up. And
Magnets,
they
yeah.
have shirts and they have magnets and hats and all sorts of things. Well, Liam decided to take it upon himself and go and turn every magnet, every stand, every hat, every shirt known to man and turn it all upside down. And I just remember the lady was like, sir, please don't do that, sir. And she just kept saying it. And Liam's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't hear you. And she's like, sir, I'm serious. Can you please stop turning all those down? And Liam turns around, just a quick little 180, just looks right at her and just throws it just right at her, right in the face. And she just kind of looks at him like, what? Like, what? Why are you doing this to me? I'm not a Texas fan. I'm just here to sell merchandise. And I'll never forget that. And that's when I really knew.
Association.
That's when I really knew how much you disliked that university. I always kind of knew growing up, because you would talk about it, whatever, and the games and all this, blah, blah, blah. But then you guys stopped playing each other for a while. We go to Omaha. I'm not really thinking you're going to care that much. And it was like your whole purpose of that trip was anyone who was wearing burnt orange was going to hear it. And they did. They really did for 3 hours of the Texas Mississippi State game. I don't think there was a single person that Liam didn't throw horns down to or let know that you suck. I don't like you. And everyone was great about it. Everybody was cool about
I
it.
didn't say you suck. They got horns down. For sure.
Oh man,
That
that
was a
was
fun time.
great.
Yeah, I think so. I'll say this. I think playing the rivalry those 11 or 12 years. I would argue that sport. So I don't have to wait for Mississippi State to beat Texas.
Hey, your rivalry came back and mine left. We still play each other, but playing each other the third week of the year is just not going to do it for me. I will say this. Bring up a little Beaver talk while we're on here. Again, thanks all for watching this. Reading the chat, you guys are great. I need to respond to that, Dirty Dan. Does Texas State win in Tempe? Um, that game last year was really, really close. Liam actually went to this game
There,
yeah.
there.
He actually went to that game at San Marcos, and it was a close game. It was a really good one. But winning in Tempe, I don't know, that might be a pretty tough one. I'm gonna bring it up about Oregon State here. Um, the way that things happen with Oregon and breaking off from that actual conference itself. I think Liam left. Guys, his internet's been a little wonky tonight, but it's all right. He's been good for the most part. The way that things left and played off with the Pac-12 dis, dismembering itself, um, it has made the actual rivalry for me not as bitter. Obviously, I'm still gonna give him some crap and shoot it at him every once in a while, but it has definitely played it down for me, and I think it's been hard, because when you play a team the third week of the year that you're used to be able to play at the last, whether you're in the same conference or you're not, that game needs to be the last game of the year. Big reason for me is, okay, we're going to play you early, whether you have all these better recruits than us, whatever, right? Set that off the table. Rivalry week, really everything is off the table rivalry week. It doesn't matter, right? Anything can happen. But when you play in the third week, it just doesn't mean as much. I was talking to Liam about this not that long ago of, the following, like last year we played them third week of the year, and it just didn't seem like the Civil War. It didn't seem like that big of a game. It didn't seem like that big of a deal. There was no buzz, like there was just nothing going on. And I think part of it was like, we don't want to give you any attention, Oregon, because you left. There you go. Bye. See you later. Left us. Um, and I think there was half the Oregon State fans that were like, I still want to play them. I still want to be a part of it. I still want that bitter rivalry. And then there's the other half that's like, good riddance, go away. Who cares? It's not that big of a deal to us. And I kind of lean on that fence both ways because I can see both sides. But it's hard, man. I mean, I think ultimately, they deserve to play that last game of the year. And also, it's a benefit for a team who is the ugly stepchild of that state. Um, I it's it's a Super Bowl. When we get to play you the last week of the season, it's a Super Bowl for us. Um, whether you guys are 11-0 and we're 1-10, or we're 10-1, or we're 11-0 and the Ducks aren't doing well, which is probably never going to happen again, but you never know. It is the Super Bowl, because if we beat y'all and we knock you out of a playoff spot, or we knock you out of contention, to maybe get a first round bye, it means the world to Oregon State. There's more buzz about it. People actually care. People want to follow that, and there's buildup all year. The buzz is building up all year leading to that game. Like, oh, here we go. Oh my gosh, we're getting hot at the end of the year. Oh my gosh, we get to play Oregon. Let's ruin their year. There's nothing about that now that is any fun at all. Of, hey guys, we get to play Oregon the third game of the year. Yay, they have like 28 4 stars and this and that, and we have nobody. We have one, Malik Murphy, and that's it. And I'm hoping it'll be a game this year. I'm hoping that's gonna still be competitive at the end of the day, but you just never know. Yeah, so I will say that till I die. That game needs to be the last game of the year, along with Wazoo and UW for the Apple Cup. That should not be the third or fourth game of the year. It's disgusting. Iowa State, last game of the year. It needs to be the last game of the year. Stuff like that, man. There's just no reason why Auburn and Alabama should be playing the third game of the year. That should never happen. They should play the last game of the year. Georgia Tech, it's the last game of the year. Why are we getting shafted and we get to play them third game of the year, but everybody else gets to keep their games and they're still non-conference? So that needs to change. I'm happy that A&M and Texas are playing each other the last game of the year like it should be. And now that they're in the same conference, which is great again. So yeah, man, I think that definitely needs to happen here soon. But enough about that tirade and rant. Thank you all for tuning in today. Appreciate it. Thank you, Liam, for coming on the show, man. I know you've had some rough internet today, maybe. But for the most part, you've actually been solid, and everybody's been hearing some good things and good thoughts. And yeah, and Dirty Dan, not financial advice. I brought this up on the first show I had. Beeves over under total wins is 6.5. Y'all better hammer the over on that. I'm telling you right now, it's a 9-win season. 9-3. 9-3 is, I don't know if that's the ceiling, but that's what we're aiming for. 9-3. So hammer the over 6.5 on that. I'm gonna put some money on it. It might be the best money you make all year. It's not gonna be the best money you make all year, but it could be, depending on how much you put on it. Thank you all for tuning in, man. Thank you all tuning in for the latest episode of the Hert Locker. Thank you, Liam, for coming on today, talking G5, giving some conference winners. We're gonna see how they pan out this year. We got more next week, more locks next week as we get rolling now. College football starting this weekend, Saturday, 2 days away. We're only 2 days away. Here we go. Can't wait. Can't wait. This is gonna be good. A couple great games. Farmageddon in Ireland. Ireland. Why did I say it like that? Ireland. Week 1 this Saturday. Farmageddon, one of the best games of the year. Can't wait. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it.